got some Disney streaming service news. So the Disney streaming service, we all know about the DC streaming service. If you're watching this,
do we?
DC, I should hope so. But the DC streaming service, you should, because there's some dope stuff coming.
That was a bit of a jab because it doesn't seem like they know what they're doing as of right now.
Well, what I'll say is this: the DC streaming service coming in 2018.
I hope
Titans. So. Yeah, I hope it is. Titans is supposed to be debuting on that network, or that streaming service, as well as Young Justice Season 3, aka Young Justice Outsiders, and a Harley Quinn animated series. I'm so excited for the latter. Now, Marvel, or Disney rather, they confirmed that they're also doing a streaming service coming in 2019. So Deadline was able to get some details that are particularly interesting to us about what the plans are for the streaming service. So, first and foremost, I just wanted to say that they're going to be developing at least one live-action Marvel show and at least one Star Wars show. All right. Another thing that they've confirmed is that they hope in the first year of the streaming service, so I guess from 2019 to 2020, they hope to generate 4 to 5 original movies and 5 TV series for the streaming service. So we already named 2, one being Marvel, one being Star Wars.
Money.
So the 5 TV series, each one is supposed to be costing in between $25 million to $35 million for 10 episodes. But they said for an ambitious series, they have a budget cap, a potential budget cap of $100 million for that 10 episode season. So
Disney out here flexing, man.
You know, like DC, I want to enunciate here because Disney, DC can sound alike. DC, they've announced some things, but given that the streaming service is coming this year, you know, and it's February, people are like, yo, I want some news. What's going on? What's the deal? You know, like, but you know, this coming out from Disney's, you know, end of things is interesting. Another interesting detail I just want to add on to it before we dissect all of that is that they, in this report, supposedly the R-rated Marvel shows are going to be on Hulu. Now that's interesting because if I'm not mistaken, under the Fox Marvel deal, which isn't yet approved, we've said that before, it's still in the process of being reviewed. But under that whole thing, Marvel would actually, or Disney rather, would actually get to own Hulu. So there's an interesting layer there where they plan to do R-rated on Hulu, and there's already a decent relationship with Hulu, with the Runaways being on Hulu. So interesting tidbits. There's a lot to dissect. DeepBoyce, what's on your mind, man? I hear you like, I hear you doing your Japanese movie martial artist sounds. What do you think, man? First of all, I agree with Call That Ice Cream in the live chat. They need to give me some of that money. Let me get like $1, Disney. Damn. Can I have like a Happy Meal or something? Shoot.
Disney.
Man.
Disney out here like Scrooge McDuck. Swimming in the gold bullion. Ridiculous. I mean, what is there to say? Honestly, nothing but excitement from my end of things. Particularly, I guess what concerns me the most is the Marvel and Star Wars show. I think you said it was a live-action Star Wars show. And,
well, I should say this. It's the report especially says a Star Wars branded title. It doesn't say live action. My thoughts is that it would be live action. I could very well be wrong about that. So let me make that clarification. They said a Star Wars branded title.
Indeed.
But when I heard that $100 million price tag for the 10 episodes, that actually made me think of Star Wars, because George Lucas had previously said that the reason why he had a Star Wars show that he was working on for many years. But the reason why he was never able to produce it is because he said it was too expensive to make live action Star Wars. That's why Clone Wars and Star Wars, eventually Star Wars Rebels came to be. So when I heard that price tag, I was like, $10 million per episode. I have no idea how much that would cost. I have no idea how much any of this stuff, like, I don't understand monetary logistics. I was just like, that's a lot of money, and maybe that could be applied to something like Star Wars. I don't know. I think one of the things that interested me the most is this new live action Marvel series. You got any idea about what you may want to see? Is there any? I mean, I don't know if we have any hints as to what it could be about. But you know.
Now, okay. Here's my first question.
Okay.
Do you think this show is Cloak and Dagger in any way, shape, or form?
Well, Cloak and Dagger is supposed to be on Freeform.
Freeform.
So
and that's like
they've already got a confirmed network for that.
But that's not a channel, is it?
Yeah, Freeform is a channel,
It's
if
a
I'm
channel?
not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Never
Used to
mind.
be ABC Family.
I
It's now
see.
Freeform.
Got
We're listen, man. We both in our late 20s. We really not watching Freeform. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So like, I don't blame you for not really knowing about Freeform. Like,
okay.
bro, I had to put on my reading glasses and look on Wiki. Cloak and Dagger, Freeform. I say, oh, okay. Here's my thing. My thing is, I would like something like, and I know you can agree with this, something like Moon Knight or something like that to be a live action show. However, I sort of want Moon Knight to tie into the Netflix shows. And according to the report, the Marvel Netflix shows are going to stay on Marvel Netflix. So whatever show they're going to do is going to sort of inhabit its own world, you know, if for lack of a better way to say it. So like sort of like how Hulu's Runaways is. Like, there are very few ties in the Runaways that make you think, okay, this show is definitively 100% set in the MCU. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really like, I'm scratching my head here because there's a lot of factors they have to keep in mind, like some of the ones that you mentioned. And if it is live action and the whole Fox deal is not done, so it's probably not gonna be any type of X-Men anything. I mean, someone mentioned, Isaiah Adams in the chat mentioned New Warriors, which I think would somewhat make sense. Be a young adult type of show.
Isn't New Warriors already? Oh yeah, I think they passed on New Warriors, didn't they? I thought there was a New Warriors show that was supposed to star Squirrel Girl, right?
Yeah, I know they casted Squirrel Girl, but I don't remember. I haven't really like read into that as of late. So I don't know what's the status of that, but I don't really think it's gonna be New Warriors either. So honestly, my guess, I think it'll be more in line with what you would typically see on the Disney Channel.
Interesting.
So, like, yes, I would like to see Moon Knight, but I don't think that would be on the streaming service. I would, if I were to make a guess, I'd probably think something like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which is catered towards kids. Or maybe
I think it's going to be aimed towards kids. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it might be catered more towards kids, like that kind of 13, like preteen demographic.
Yeah.
Or it could be maybe like Miles Morales or something like that, or Miles Morales TV
That
show.
would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I'd be down for that.
Or, you know, I mean, I'm just kind of, it could be the Champions. I know they're a rather new team in the comics, but it's like a young Cyclops. Maybe they'd have to sub them out, but it's Vision's daughter. Maybe that wouldn't quite make sense. See, again, whether it's connected or not, that makes things difficult there. So maybe those New Warriors Champions, that's out of the equation. So, again, I'm kind of thinking maybe Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. I'm thinking of, which, you know, that character isn't like well known like that, but it does sell a lot of comics, and I think they could definitely push it. They could definitely market it correctly. You know, young African American girl who's one of the smartest people on the planet, and she's got a pet dinosaur. Bong, the kids are into it.
Yeah, and just to be clear, with this report, it's also been said that the R-rated shows are, you know, going to be on Hulu, and they're not going to be any R-rated shows on the streaming platform. So the idea is, as you said, you know, they're definitely appealing to a general crowd. I'm not saying that's only going to be kiddie stuff. I'm just saying it's not going to be, definitely not going to have like exclusive adult content, if you will.
Yeah.
So, you know, those of you, you know, holding out for some, you know, Disney movie porn parodies. Shite out of luck, my friends.
I mean, Isaiah Adams also brings up an interesting character, Nova, the young Sam Alexander. Maybe that's a possibility.
I just think I'm just concerned about money when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Like, I would be concerned about money and whether or not, you know, they have any plans for the Nova character. At all. Or
it could be some sort of continuation of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It could be something within that vein. I don't know. Again, I don't entirely know how they're going to go about it. Or maybe the Inhumans would have been interesting had they done it right. Had it not been done and they would have approached it from a completely different angle, that could have been something different. But I'm honestly at a bit of a loss as to what it is that they're going to do. Because I personally think they're going to skew a little bit younger when it comes to the Disney streaming service.
That's a great theory.
Given that if you look at everything else that's on this service, on the streaming platform, it also seems to be more in line with what you normally see on a Disney Channel. So I don't think they're gonna give us something that is like Marvel Netflix, some of the shows that are PG-13. I don't think they're gonna give us anything that is maybe even like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., at least recently, where it's been a little bit more mature. So I think they're gonna give us something that is within what you would expect a Spider-Man show to be. Like anything that's within that range, that tone, not necessarily Spider-Man, but anything that could fit into that. I think they may take an opportunity with. And I think they might try to push like a C-level or C-list superhero. Because I think Disney's got that kind of power. Disney could just say, if it's the right spin and it's on Disney, and it's Marvel, those three things, that's all you need.
Yeah.
It could be a character that we won't even expect. It could be, I don't know. I mean, I guess Nova's like a good example. Like Nova people aren't like, oh my God, crazy over young Sam Alexander. But that could work.
What about something like Miss Marvel? There have been rumors circulating for years that a Miss Marvel TV show was in the works.
I'd throw my hat into that as well. I
would love Miss Marvel.
I would expect
I love that character.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice there. Great comic,
Kamala Khan,
good character.
Yeah. Kamala Khan is an amazing character. Captain Marvel will be releasing in 2019 as well.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to line up Captain Marvel with this Miss Marvel character. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, it's very simple that you could have, Captain Marvel be Captain Marvel in the movies, and maybe Kamala Khan sees this, young Kamala Khan, who is an Inhuman, which they've already introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or even a metahuman, because we've seen them change the lore of characters like Molly Hernandez in The Runaways. She's a mutant in the comics. They obviously made her more of a metahuman, so to speak. So, Kamala Khan could just see Captain Marvel and be inspired by her, and she's like, hey, I want to take the name, call myself Miss Marvel. You know what I'm saying? And so goes the story. Yeah. There's also been rumors that American Crime director John Ridley, there's been reports for a number of years that John Ridley was working on a show with Marvel. Supposedly this show was supposed to be on ABC, but just because of the amount of time it seems to have been taken to develop this idea, there's this thought that ABC may have abandoned the project, or that it's still churning, or that John Ridley is no longer working on this project. But maybe this long rumored or long in process John Ridley show will be the show that debuts on the streaming service.
True. And I mean that. I guess there wasn't really much more news that came out of that. It was just they were just tied together, right?
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Now, Ricardo Rios, he asked the question in the chat. He said, "Can you do Miss Marvel without Captain Marvel? It's really important to her origin." I basically just explained exactly how I think that could be done. Captain Marvel is important to Kamala Khan's origin, and that she passed on the Miss Marvel name to her.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't have to be a situation where Captain Marvel is her mentor at first. It could be a situation where Kamala Khan is simply inspired by this female superhero. It's her favorite superhero. Yeah. Maybe there's a situation where Captain Marvel saved her or her family. Maybe there was some sort of indirect interaction that inspired her, and thus she decided to take on this idea, this notion of Miss Marvel. There's so many uncanny ways you can do this. Maybe she's in a situation where she's wearing a Captain Marvel T-shirt, and somebody refers to her as Miss Marvel, and she's just like, oh, I like that name, and she goes with it. Like, yes, Captain Marvel is important to her origins, but as we've seen with the whole TV universe that the MCU has sort of given birth to, it's very easy for something from the movies to inspire the TV shows without the movie characters or the movie objects or whatever it is to have, to be present in said show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is very much inspired by the movies, yet it doesn't necessarily need to have Iron Man walking by every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it would be too crazy for them to just maybe they have a commercial where they show Captain, like commercial within the show. Maybe she's watching TV and Captain Marvel's on it. She has Captain Marvel posters or something in her room.
Yeah.
I know that Marvel doesn't like to do that, but even stuff like that it's not that big of a deal. If they do a little bit more of that, or if they show the character in a magazine. You don't need an actual appearance or a cameo by said character and the actor that portrays them.
Right.
Just, just acknowledge that it's around. that they're there. It's
Yeah.
out there. Something happened.
Absolutely.
But in the chat, and a lot of people also give us some good suggestions. I mean, America Chavez, that's a good suggestion. Kate Bishop is a good suggestion. And kind of tied to like America Chavez, even Kate Bishop, you can maybe do New Avengers, which is a younger team of Avengers.
Yes.
I mean, we'll see what happens in the movies, but maybe they could have an Avengers Academy that's not tied to the MCU at large. It's just it's an Avengers Academy.
Speaking of Kate Bishop Hawkeye, I mean, Jeremy Renner has expressed that he would love to do a Netflix series. I mean, what if he did a series on the DC streaming platform instead? Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I think I'm excited for the DC streaming service, but or Disney streaming service and DC streaming service. But let's keep it moving, man.